All right, y'all. I had to redo this thing, title it part two. Connection definitely was not working in our favor. But while you all are still getting settled and stuff, I am going to go ahead and apply this contour. And I am using the first version of the Conceal and Define Concealer line by Makeup Revolution. This is going to be my cream contour color. The shade that I actually have of this is C18. I think it's actually the darkest shade. Ask me why I had to pick the darkest. Y'all, at the time, I just was like, let me just see. So I like it, but it's not bad, I'll say. Okay. All right, y'all. Now I'm pulling out this Juvia Place foundation stick, and this is what I'm going to apply around my hairline. Now, I only necessarily do this if I am feeling the need to bring some warmth around my forehead area. I am a part of the Five Head Club, y'all. Don't judge me. So, like, I am definitely like not opposed to using this. And this is actually a little bit lighter than that first shade that I applied. So I am very much okay with this actually. Then I'm going to take a little bit of this on the side of my nose, just carving out the side of my nose and how I can best find this. The horizontal sides, wherever that naturally is on the side of my nose, is where I focus the placement of this product. So, and I just create a line there. All right, so with the tech stuff and all that, I had already had my concealer applied, obviously. So I am going to need to get some moist action back on my face with that. So I'm just going to apply my face using my setting spray just to kind of get those wet properties back on the cream products that I had already applied so that they can blend out a lot easier, especially that concealer. I'm going to just apply a little bit of this. Okay. Oof. Okay. All right. So face is just my forehead is like but all right, now I have it where I need to be, so this can definitely be a lot easier with putting it out. So I'm going to start with my concealer. And actually, because I did let it sit a little bit, my concealer, the coverage is probably going to be a lot better, giving you more of a full coverage, which is always good. Just blending this out. Same on this side. And I'll actually say, because I am very new with the technique of applying the concealer on the side of my nose and on the edge of my eyelid, I definitely like the placement because it doesn't bring my concealer all the way down here, because I'm really trying to focus on highlighting my under eye area. And before, sometimes my placement would just be like any which aware, but I am really trying to focus on this area, so that is where the placement should be. And also, it gives me more of a defined application around my under eye area. So I definitely like using this technique for that reason. And it does help to sculpt out my um, side of my nose. Um, which you might also be like, well, you also are trying to do that with the bronzing. Um, shade, which yes, I am. That concealer just helps give it a more defined and cut look. So you can actually see that, yeah, it's there and it's not just blended out any which way, but that concealer helps to enhance it a lot more by, just kind of defining the edges of that product. So now I'm just taking this little angled brush that this is what I normally use to blend out my contour. And I love the shape of this because it gets really in. It helps guide me as I am blending out um, products on my cheek area, especially my contour and so on. So I'm just using this to do that now. And y'all see how good and cut my cheekbones are getting with this color. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And so the difference between bronzer and concealer, bronzer is more so bringing more warmth back to your face. So after you've applied your foundation, we've already done that, your concealer, that bronzer is going to bring a little bit more warmth back into our face. And I won't necessarily say that it's not so necessary for folks who are more on the darker end of things. Like, I definitely think that we at times also can lose some color in the process of us blending out our products. And so we definitely want to also have that really nice, not so much tan, but just warm look, warm, natural look, because we do actually have different points of our face that are like there are parts of our face that are not always the same shade, like that's not always the same color. We know that. That's why so many of us struggled so many times finding our right foundation shade, so on and so forth. And it may not just only be us chocolate folks. I just have heard a lot of us, state that, but that is very true and common. And so I think that is also where bronzing and contouring can come into place. So now I'm going to take that. Do I want to? Yeah. I'm going to take the same brush and blend out that bronze around my hairline. And this is something that I don't always necessarily have to do in terms of the cream, but is the powder. Oh, yeah, I definitely have been doing that. And I also have applied some towards the bottom of my chin to help carve that out as well. All right, and now we move on to powder. So I am going to set my under eye area, and I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me. I have two completely different colors because of me using one to set my under eye and then the other to set all over my face. So that is the point of that. Um, Let me see. We use this actually to set under eye because I remember I used the other brush for my bronzer. So just setting my under eye using medium dark, which is more of a lighter shade. I am just blending out that concealer on the tip of my nose because I just noticed that it was not blended out. And we want to make sure that it is. On camera, don't like how it's picking up. And once again, I think this lighting is throwing things off. Just making me look a little bit washed out. Whereas in person, it is giving me a little bit more of that color where I can see how things are really looking true in real time. But we are We are definitely okay, I will say. All right, and now I'm going to set my entire face using dark by the shade Powder Line. I am taking my little kabuki, tapping off this and just applying this all over my face. So blend everything out and just set everything. All right, on camera you are seeing things are coming together. Like the powder is doing that. Thank you, powder. And I do also go over my under eye just to make sure that that is blended out too. Yeah. All right, y'all. Let me try to adjust the lighting on my vanity just so you all can see me a little bit better. Let's see. Is that a little bit better? That's making me look a little bit more yellow. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit okay. Although this one is kind of still a little yellow. That is a lot better. Okay, y'all, I can see how things are looking now. So, yay. Okay, in real time, because like I said, I wanted to pull it up on my phone just to make sure. Because if I'm not typing, I wanted to also be able to see here, and just in case y'all drop anything in the chat. But all right, y'all. So the entire face is set. So now let's move on, and we're going to definitely do some warming up of the face, the contour, and all of that. So, and this is with the powder. So lately, I have been jumping on the bandwagon because I know there have been several different companies coming out and launching bronzing and contour colors, contour products. And so I've been able to find a few here. I'll definitely show those to y'all so you kind of have some options to work with, but also show y'all what I have most been using. And so one product that I can definitely say I got my hands on last year, another product by Makeup Revolution is their Revolution Glow Splendor Ultra Matte Bronzer. And these came out in, I believe, 8 different shades. The shade that I will say that I actually have it in deep. It's more of a contour shade because it's a little bit on the darker end of things. And that's actually fine because I still can get some wear out of this stuff. It's just that I, at one point, was trying to use this as a contour and bronzer until I learned what both of their uses were. And I was kind of making things very muddy. So glad that I learned more how to better use this product. But these are some bomb products. Love the packaging. Smells like pineapple. But these are an all around amazing product. If you ever want to try them out, I definitely say give them a go because I know these would definitely like folks jumped on the bandwagon and they are still good to go. Another product that I have found very comparable to the Black Radiance bronzing powder, the three in one little palettes, face palettes, those are amazing. That's actually where I started out with contour and such. But this product that I recently found by the company Beauty Bakery, this is one of their face palettes, and the one that I have is in Brownie Bar. And it does have also that 3-in-1 kind of vibe. So you do get a contour shade, you get a blush, and then you get a highlighter. And I love it because it's very like convenient to have all three in one. And then to top it off, this orange shade looks amazing on chocolate skin. I think they did a phenomenal job with this product. So I definitely also have to shout this out because this is definitely another good one. Just in case if you are someone that's looking for something that's convenient, you're starting off and you find something. I definitely think this is one. But those are just two that I have, and I wanted to show those to y'all. But I am going to be using this other product, another product that I actually bought last year. I bought all three of these last year, found all three. And this is also by Revolution. This is their I Love Revolution, actually. My little packaging is all the way. It's because I use this, y'all. I'm telling you. But this is their contour palettes, the little chocolate bar contour palette. So the packaging comes in like a true, chocolate bar effect, right? They give you that. Then you open it up and you get a little mirror. It says "Smell Me" because it does smell like chocolate actually. But then you get your contour shade and then you get a highlighter. So this is actually the contour shade that I have, and so I have deep, and I have been using this as my contour. So how I apply this is a powder. So I normally take this angled fluffy brush. This is like my all-time favorite brush to do bronzing, contouring. Love it. But I usually take this to do my contouring, tapping a little bit of that product on, and I go to work wherever I place that cream contour on the side of on my cheek area, um, on my cheekbone area. This is exactly where I apply this product. So I just go right over it, and this is just to help set that product in place. So just go ahead and follow that very same shape. Now, sometimes if you do struggle with just finding the placement or the right placement for your contour, you just make like a little kiss face, a little side kissy face, and then you apply it. Because what this is doing is helping to define your cheekbones so it looks very snatched, very makes it look like, okay, like you just kind of drew a line or carved out your cheekbones to make them stand out a little bit more. But it's not exactly doing that to that effect, but it's giving you, you know, the enhancement piece, right? So I'm just doing the second part of my cheeks, my other cheek area, sorry. Just doing the very same thing. I know some people may ask, is it necessary to do a cream and set it with a powder? You don't actually have to do that. The only way that I see this, if you may lose some of that cream color in the process of applying your foundation or in the process of setting your face, like I did. But other than that, I definitely don't think that you have to do it. You can actually do either or. Like if you only want to do powder products, you can do that because that's actually where I have been for a while, still being there. I don't always do a cream contour or a cream bronzer and then set it once my entire face is set. Don't always do that. Or if you do want to do creams and then set your entire face and not apply any other thing, you can do that too. Because actually doing that way has starting to become really popular because it's a lot more natural that way. All right, y'all. So I have my contour applied. Now I'm moving on to bronzing. So bronzing is actually, like I stated and explained before, it is a technique that is bringing warmth back to your face. So, like right now, of course, I have my foundation and everything applied as far as my face makeup, but for some people, I may look very like blah, like there is no drama added to the face other than my contour. You see that, yes, but my face is just one thing. It's just nothing, no other kind of color to make it stand out a little bit more. So bronzer just helps to bring warmth back to the perimeter of your face. And so the bronzer that I have been loving, really loving for a while now, over a year, been loving this stuff, is one of the Instant Warmth bronzer, the Sun Stalker. Let me say it right. The Sun Stalker Instant Warmth Bronzer by Fenty Beauty. And the shade that I normally use is in Mocha Mami. And I am literally hitting pan because I'm telling y'all this is actually the first little packaging or one that I actually product and been using it since. And so you think I give it up because I've hit pan, but no, I'm using every single last bit that's up in this thing. You hear me? Because this is bomb. So the brush that I've actually been using to apply this is this full setting brush by Eco Tools, and I've been loving it because of the shape. It gives me a very like small, fluffy brush vibe, but it's like dense enough where it gets really in there where I can actually control how I'm applying the product. So I am just taking this and just dusting this very lightly on the hairline, on my hairline. And then I also am taking this and I'm applying this a little bit above where I applied that contour because that's not on your cheek area. You've already, of course, applied that contour. You technically applied the contour the on your cheekbone area. But with your bronzer, you don't necessarily have to do that. You could almost apply your bronzer in the same placement that you would a blush. Because for me, whenever I apply contour, blush, highlight, I want it to look very seamless. So I want them to look as if they are going almost like blending right into each other. So I'm not necessarily applying the bronzer in the same place I applied the contour. I'm applying it a little bit above and I start towards my hairline and I just blend it in. But I'm also focusing it on my hairline. So it is bringing some warmth around my hairline, around my forehead area. That's giving me a very like, okay, summertime fine, sun kissed vibe. And then if I also want to just bring a little bit warmth around my jaw area, jawline, I can do that as well. Another really great technique that you can use to apply bronzer in particular is, especially for folks that may struggle with placement, is just think about creating a three on the side of your face. So you hit your hairline, you hit your cheek, and you hit your jawline. So that three effect is going to get you so that you're not necessarily trying to do each, little thing individually and you're messing up. You're like, I don't know if I'm placing this right. Just come up with that three. You got it. And apply as much as you need. Same, same for the other side. Now I have been officially, I will say, doing this for a little over a month now. And I'm being transparent with y'all about how long I've been doing it because I really just learned a little bit more about bronzing and contour. And I think it's really benefited me because I know that I've just shown y'all these products that I've been trying out, but not necessarily knowing how to use them. I think, is the thing that has probably made me trip up with just getting the best use out of my products. And so there's really finding better ways to use them. I think ultimately really just helped me find a better routine. And so this face honestly has helped me even become more comfortable with the natural look. And so y'all, this is the contour and bronzing look that I have been able to wear here lately. And I'm actually going to change the lighting a little bit so that y'all can see because the colors are kind of looking. I just want y'all to see the colors a little bit better. So let me just, okay. All right. You can kind of see. Y'all can kind of see that a little bit better. Promise I'm not trying to take away. I just want y'all to be able to have a better view. All right. So we're seeing that drama that's coming in the face. I am gonna go ahead and just, if I have to, add some blush, finish off that part, add some highlight, finish off that part. There's also other parts of the face that we love. And so, yes, I've already added my bronzer. I am going to take a little bit of this orange blush out of that Beauty Bakery palette and just a little bit of that on top. I think these colors are very, very natural. It really gives that bronze effect. And I know we had some folks kind of came on a little bit later. I was pointing out the fact that I know that some of us have places on our face that may not always be the same color. So I think that is how bronzing and contour can also come into handy because it allows you to balance out your face, and just kind of enhance the areas that may not always get the love because you sometimes are really trying to figure out how to just balance out your face, and make it one dimensional where it is, looking a lot more blended because you have the colors together in terms of the foundation, all that good stuff. But yeah, definitely think that that is where bronzing and contouring can come in to help you just blend things into together a lot easier. Taking this medium size brush and just kind of blend out that highlight. I know this phase was mainly about the contouring and the bronzing. I just also want to give other places of this face a little love. Put me a little lipstick on, just make my face look cute. hmm This lip liner that I'm using is my favorite dark chocolate lip liner. It's by NYX. It's a part of the Suede Matte Lip Liner collection, and it's called Club Hopper. And I was so happy, y'all, when I saw not too long ago another person, I think on a YouTube video, use it, and I was like, oh my god, like somebody else knows about this. I was low key mad, but I was like, oh my god, mad because I don't want folks to go out and buy it so I can buy it. That is so selfish right now. But no, sharing is caring. But the fact that somebody else knew about this just, also made me happy because I was like, yeah, I've been telling folks this is the truth. I'm telling y'all. And of course, I had to throw on, yes, Unveil. Almost got the name wrong. Unveil by the Fenty Beauty Stunna Lip Paint line. Love this color. Really pretty. And then I'm going to top this off with a more mauve nude. Kind of helps give me that ombre effect. And this is my favorite lip, y'all, that I've been rocking. But I'm telling y'all, contour and bronzing has really helped step up the game to just how I wear face makeup in particular. And you don't necessarily have to do both. I know some folks they are focusing because like I explained earlier, when you're contouring, you're more so focusing on sculpting. When you're bronzing, you're more so bringing warmth back to your face. You are bringing more of that, more of the color that you are kind of fading out when you are just wearing, because I know when we do wear our foundation, some of us are just okay with that, but some of us may feel like, okay, I look just pale. I don't look like I have any color or anything is just there. So maybe bronzer can just kind of help bring some more warmth, some more action back to your face. Like if you want to apply it around your hairline, around those cheek areas, just to kind of wake it up a little bit, wake your makeup up a little bit in those areas, you can do that. But when you are applying contouring, um, for me, I was making the mistake of contouring my hairline. I don't necessarily think that's the right placement because a lot of the sculpting does go around your cheekbone areas, the areas that do have just kind of like that definition. I would say your jawline, those are places that need to be sculpted. Whereas your forehead, that's a place that needs to be, you know, warmth brought back to. Um, and on your cheek areas, you also do have the ability to place bronzer. Um, but like I did, you just place that bronzer a little bit on top of your contour. And it kind of makes it look a little bit like a blush. Yes, I get that. But you are just bringing warmth back to that area. That's how you can think about that. But y'all, try this. Definitely try this out. For those of us that I know that kind of chimed in a little bit later, I shared some of the products that I recently found, like the Makeup Revolution Splendor Ultra Matte Bronzer Collection. These are really good in terms of like a good bronzer, because that's actually what this is called. Love the Fenty Beauty, the Fenty Beauty Sunstalker. These are also bronzers. I know they also came out with a cream version of their bronzers. And I actually did try it. I would say the color that I got would actually work for me. It's still actually good. I kind of like second guessed it a little bit because I thought it was too dark, but it's actually really good to still use as a contour shade because it is a little darker than what I expected. But the Fenty Beauty bronzers, definitely really good bronzers to go with. They are a little bit more on the high end side. I just still recommend them in case anyone is interested. In terms of a contour palette, I recommended the Makeup Revolution, or I love Revolution contour palettes, the chocolate bar contour palettes. I think they came out with this collection last year as well. And they launched about three different shades. And the shade that I have is in deep. Um, and then another one is this Beauty Bakery Brownie Bar Face Palette. And it has like the three in one deal. I think this is very comparable, like I mentioned, the Black Radiance face palettes, like the contour palettes. You get like kind of like um, the same idea that you get in this palette. They do have like a cream version of their palettes, and then they also have a powder version. I normally can find those at like Walmart, Target, those kind of places, just in case if anyone is interested in trying those out. But it's called the Black Radiance Contour Face Palettes. I think the packaging is black, and they kind of give you like the layout on the front of the packaging. It's really cool. But they have a powder version and a cream version, and you get the three in one kind of vibe. You get like a contour shade. Now they don't give you a blush like this company does. They do more like a what do they call it? It's like a sculpting shade. So it's kind of like where you would like sculpt out underneath your contour, which is also another really good thing. And then they give you a highlight. Speaking of sculpting out your contour, that's actually something that I didn't do. And I'm actually just bringing that up. So I'm going to just kind of do that real quick. But what that really is doing is just kind of, once again, just kind of um, because you do apply your contour, and sometimes um, we want our contour to look snatched, right? Like that's the point. We want it to stand out. We want those cheekbones to stand out, and so that is the point of just sculpting out um, your contour shape. That is really only the other the other reasoning for doing this, not to apply extra powder to your face, but normally to sculpt out your contour, you do want to use a lighter powder to do that and dust it very lightly underneath where you apply that contour. So I'm taking my little beauty blender. Some people use brushes. You can use either or. I'm actually going to try to do both using the beauty blender on this side and the brush on this side so I can show you how you can do that with either or, but you just literally take that lighter powder and go right underneath where you applied that contour. And that's just kind of helping it to stand out a lot more. And you're carving it out so that You can actually get that. And normally, here's another thing that I learned in good old college. I took a theater makeup class, and this actually is something that they do a lot on stage. They have the shadowing, so this is more so. Um, yeah, it's kind of helping bring out that shadow so your cheekbones stand out a lot better. Like on the character's cheekbones and areas on their face, they really wanted to bring attention to stands out a lot better. So they actually do the sculpting and use highlight this way, and they don't sometimes blend it in. But of course, like when you normally wear contour, you do want to blend in that lighter shade. But I think that's really cool to learn that they do that just to kind of help, what they need to do on stage to help it stand out a lot better. So I'm gonna let that sit a little bit. I applied that with my beauty blender. Then I'm gonna go in using. I want to. Yeah, I'm gonna just use this, but I'm gonna use this setting brush, this small little setting brush, taking that same powder and just using this on the other side to just show y'all how you can use a brush to do this same thing. Either or, I know folks, have their own preference. Some people might like the blender, some people like brushes. Use and do what's best for you. So, me normally, I have grown a lot more, like gravitated a lot more to beauty blenders for the sake of like applying and blending. Because for whatever reason, like brushes do that for me, but they don't always allow me the control that I need. And I think that's why I sometimes gravitate towards the beauty blender. So just dusting this off just to make sure that I get this out the way and that it's not just there looking like an unblended blob of light powder on my face. So that is not what I want. And to do this, I'm taking the brush that I actually use to apply my all over face powder because I do want to make sure that I'm like, you know, able to blend it out and it looks good. So now with that applied, you definitely can see that that contour is carved out. So it's like my cheekbone area can stand out a lot easier. It's definitely brought, some definition to. Same thing on this side. Some people may wonder, is this necessary? For one, when you are starting out doing this, I don't think that you should focus so much on trying to make things perfect. I definitely think that it would be necessary to try to get down pack how to apply bronzer and contour first. The sculpting piece, like doing this, um, I think that can definitely come after. It is something that you can practice, but don't get so overwhelmed that you think you have to do every single thing. Just start small and work your way up to it. This is something that I still myself don't always do, but I know that obviously doing it and the effect that it can bring to your makeup look, is definitely beneficial. Like I think it can be. So, and I obviously wanted to show you all the benefit because it does help to allow your contour to actually look sculpted out, like you actually took time to, to define your cheekbones. But do you have to focus on it initially when you start to do contour and bronzing? Absolutely not. Start where you are most comfortable. Learn the technique, learn how to do it, learn how to bronze, learn how to contour, learn your actual contour shade, learn your bronzer shade, learn placement, learn the right tools to use. If you are somebody that you may need a little bit more assistance with applying contour or bronzer, I definitely love little tools like this, like I showed you all. I love angle brushes for that very reason because I know for me when I started out, I was like using just a plain old powder brush is gonna make me feel like I'm not even applying this right. So I went ahead and just found an angle brush because I know that that shape is really gonna fit very comfortably to help me just, focus on, okay, you're applying this to your cheekbone area. It is the side of your face. And so it just allows me to sculpt out, where I need it to be on my forehead. Now that you can definitely do what works best. Um, and I think also using beauty blenders has also been really handy for me when blending out cream, contour, and stuff because with a beauty blender, I know how to use it. I'm comfortable with using a beauty blender. I'm just mindful of how I use it to make sure that I'm like not, so messy. I didn't do the beauty blender as use a beauty blender as much in this video with blending out my contour and whatnot, but I think it can give the very same effect of using a brush. You're just using a different tool. Nothing really like different to it. It's just a matter of you thinking about what's your preference to it. So, but for the most part, I definitely hope that I was able to show you all that bronzing and contouring can be fun. It's a different technique when you are when you are beginning to start doing makeup. It is absolutely one of those parts of the face that you're like, how necessary is it? I thought that way too, I will say. And I'm not saying that just to be like, oh yeah, like I overcame. I'm still learning, y'all. But I am just wanting to be that messenger to show y'all what I'm learning along the way. But I've learned how um, beneficial it can be to my face because I know for me, I've started to want to wear a full blown face application of face makeup. And so bronzing and contour has been one of those techniques that's been worth exploring because I've seen the benefit of how it can help, enhance my features. Like I do naturally have, little chubby, cute cheeks. And so when I smile, I'm already having high cheekbones and just enhancing that, just makes me feel like, oh my God, like I'm embracing, what's already there. Not, putting there, not pretending, not trying to carve out my cheeks to make them, but already enhancing what's already there, like I said. Like in same for y'all. Um, but yeah, I'm just enjoying this and I am going back over it just because I know sometimes when applying and when sculpting out, that contour and that, lighter shade, I don't like the harsh line. So I definitely try to go back over it just to make sure I blend it out. Blend, blend, blend. All right, you all. But that was contour and bronzing. That was my point of jumping on with y'all tonight. Definitely glad that we had a chance to do this as the top of the session for 2021. Yes, you all may be asking, will Makeup Fridays be a thing this year? Absolutely. If they were not, I wouldn't be on here, y'all. So I have not forgotten about y'all. I'm definitely still in this thing letting y'all know the updates in my life in terms of just kind of what's more what are some other things that I'm doing with this. And like I was telling folks earlier that if you weren't able to join us earlier, that I did start I went back to school to study aesthetics. And so that of course encompasses so much waxing, microblading, makeup, skincare, um, facials and all that good stuff. So I'm getting so much more education, y'all, and I'm just grateful to God because I know that that has been it's an honor, it's a privilege to be able to learn more and go deeper with this, and I know that it can also add, you know, more to this as well. So, but yeah, I always love and enjoy fellowshipping with y'all on Friday. So that is why set your calendars again, folks. Like we are in for real with this thing in this new year. Now, I will say, in terms of the time for these lives, they have, I noticed, been very late, and I'm super grateful for y'all for even being available like this. But I know my classes, well, the class does run pretty late, and I even have class on Fridays. So, um, whenever I do get done with class, which is usually like 9:30, around 9:30, or after 9:30, because I'm done with class at 9:30. Um, it usually will be a little bit after 9. Expect that is a start time. I would say during the day, but I will say I'm also having other things going on during the day. For me, work is still a thing, like, still doing that. This little Miss thing, Miss Autumn, huffing and puffing. But yeah, so yeah, but normally the start time of these would have to be around that 9 o'clock, which for me will be 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So I know I have folks all over, so just kind of being mindful of time zones and whatnot. But yeah, a little bit after 9 is when you can definitely expect for these to pop off every single Friday. So I love you all. I appreciate y'all for just hopping on here tonight, being with your girl. I missed y'all, and I'm definitely excited for what's to come. And y'all continue to stay tuned. Y'all continue to hang in there. Y'all, we are doing this thing, and I'm super excited to see what the future has in store. I love you all. I hope that y'all have an amazing week. Um, Definitely continue to be on the lookout for more content because, of course, that's coming. It's coming, y'all. And I'm super grateful and thank you all in advance for all of your love. And until next time, Lord willing, I want y'all to have an amazing weekend, amazing week. Until we see each other again, take care of yourselves. And Lord willing, I will see y'all soon. All right, fam. I love y'all. Peace out.